My name's Zach Smith. I'm hanging out with my friend Lucius Fontenot. Hey, Lucius. Whoa.
Hey, Zack.
See, I just
How's it
bumped.
going?
I'm not cutting that out. I'm leaving it.
Okay.
How are you and where are you?
I am doing good. Now I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana. So things are pretty peaceful out here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell me how things are going. You walk out your front door and are people social distancing? Are people walking around? They're going to the store? What's going on in good old Lafayette Parish?
well, I live downtown, so it's weird to see downtown. Downtown's pretty vacant, except for the afternoon when you see a lot of people riding bikes and walking around.
Yeah.
Kind of getting out of the house. But it's it could be pretty eerie, like at night. Um, Especially like on a Saturday night
Yeah.
when it's normally full and it's just ghost town, and it kind of that's when it kind of strikes you that something's going on. I kind of joked with a few other people who work like I do from home and gig to gig, and we were kind of like, well, we were already prepared for this kind of existence. We've been doing it a while.
It's yeah, it's really disheartening right now that there's no work coming in, but at the same time, I do find the same sentiment from other photographers and artists who support themselves that we've kind of been trudging this slow, lonesome road for quite some time, and a setback is kind of a bump in the road, and it's not a brick wall. So yeah, maybe we have a unique perspective on the silence.
Yeah, and also not I mean, some of us see a lot of people every day, like musician friends. I know they're lonely from the stage and the crowds and the people they meet. But like I've got a painter friend of mine who put up this meme and was it was like artists before quarantine, artists during quarantine, artists after quarantine. It was all the same, like someone had an easel.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I think I feel bad for the 9 to 5 people who are used to that sort of routine and interaction. It kind of has to be weird for them, where I think our advantage is we've got our set routine, but it revolves around us doing stuff a lot by ourselves or at home.
Yeah, and I was very eager to talk with you about this because the whole purpose of this project, this hang, is to basically just hang because our world has been thrown into somewhat of some chaos from day to day, um, and it's good to connect with like minds, and for me, I exist to tell stories, and you do the same. And the story that's happening now is very much internally right around with me. Like there's no music, there's no culture happening, there may be a lot of cooking. That's not my world. That's more your world. We'll talk about that in a second,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot for me to photograph. So I'm having to switch gears on where I put my creativity. So and the images you sent me that we're going to look at have a lot to do with people, close proximity, Mardi Gras, portraits of people. How has that changed pre-COVID and now, I guess, in the middle of all this madness?
Well, I guess I feel lucky that because one of my main projects is the traditional Cajun Mardi Gras,
Hmm.
and I feel lucky that I got to shoot that before all this happened. Um, I was really pleased with what I got, and in talking with the people that put it on, we may not have Mardi Gras next year. You never know. So I'm happy I got to do that. I did have a couple of other projects going on that involve older people of Louisiana, and that's kind of, I we can't do those the way I wanted to do them right
Mm.
now.
Yeah.
So like the project was shooting these Cajun Creole grandmas, And so what I'm doing is instead I'm taking audio
Okay.
from the interviews, and the audio is not great because they were only meant for like note taking,
Yeah.
to write a little blurb later. But I'm making a podcast out of it and going to put that out because I think these ladies have a lot to say about really strange times and hard times, and I think it would be good for some of us to. It's actually comforting to hear, what they went through and made it through. A lot of these ladies are, in their 80s and 90s, and have been through some really crazy stuff.
Well, and as we're looking at them right now, you don't get this look of honesty and love and whatnot by being 6 to 12 feet away.
No,
You gotta be close to people to make them feel close to you as a photographer because you're about to put this big old metal thing in front of your face.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, let's get close, but let me put this thing in front of us, right?
So my partner in this project, Jolie Moe, she spent a good, usually half hour getting to know them, and uh, we've been chatting. So by the end, um, everyone's feeling kind of comfortable with each other, and we know more about each other. We've laughed, and they tend to uh, they tend to really kind of shine after a while, and it's that kind of closeness that you can't get through a Zoom meeting. Not that I would ever want to try to explain how to do a Zoom meeting with someone in their 90s,
Yeah.
but
You could
uh,
do it, though. I
I
bet
mean, I barely know how to do it. So,
you. Yeah.
but yeah,
I love that project. And when you first started telling me you were doing that, um, I felt that the type of photography that I look up to you to doing is something that nobody's doing. Even when you shoot Mardi Gras, nobody's doing it like you. And I know you tutored and you learned a lot from Debbie Fleming Caffrey, and you know that world better than most. But your images are still yours. And when I see something, I think I say, that's a Lucius. You know,
well, thank you, because
you're welcome. It's true.
and I think that only comes from photographing something that you love, like over and over and over again. And I know you've had projects like that where you keep at it, and I don't know. After 16 years of photographing Mardi Gras in color and
Hmm.
wanting to do something different, it was really kind of a happenstance. I joke. I said I think I was in a bad mood when I was editing one Mardi Gras, and I just took that slider and threw it all the way to the left, and it went black and white, and I kind of saw something different, you know.
Okay, so these were originally shot in color.
Yeah, I'd love to be that skilled of a film photographer to say this was all like black and white film. This is all shot on my Canon 5D Mark IV. The action's fast. The autofocus is sharp.
Man, you do a great job at making it feel like film. So, you know what? I think the whole mystery with shooting film and shooting film cameras, it's because a lot of people don't know how the whole thing works. But if you think about it, uh, if you can get the look with any other camera, it's all about how you make the picture. You don't,
Yeah,
if the 5D works for you and this is the way it needs to feel, then you should have whatever tool you need in your hand to make it work.
and that's how I look at it. It's just a tool, and I do like if you'd go back to that other picture you just had up. It's a good example of I like these Mardi Gras pictures because you don't really know what time period it is,
Oh,
but
absolutely, man. You're
but if
right.
you look in his little pocket, there's a pop top beer can there, and if you look over his shoulder, there's a car. But without those two things, you could place this, you know, 100 years ago, but it's not. It's happening right now. But it does at the same time. The actual event feels like it could be 100 years ago in another dimension. And so, using a digital camera and making it look like film is just another part of this weird combination of like, where am I? What am I doing? What's going on that I'm trying to capture with these things?
Yeah, and who are these people coming for me right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Scared right now.
Yeah.
Like I totally agree with you there. It's if you have the right tool to tell the story, it shouldn't matter how you do it. You know,
No,
it
and
is.
I think we've all had that as a photographer. Someone's come up to us and seen the camera we're using, and like, man, that must take real good pictures. And you're like, yeah, no, it does. Knowing that it's just another tool. It's just, I shot for years on a very antiquated digital camera, and some of those images, still stand up against whatever I shoot with this camera.
Yeah. Well, man, so we looked at a few different series you have going right now, and as a photographer working in Louisiana, and the state of where we are economically, health-wise, creatively, what are you hopeful and looking forward to when you're able to get where you need to be and shoot what you want, whenever that is? What are you hopeful for?
Um, I think I would like to think that I try to stop when I see something, but I know that like most people, we're always in a rush, always have someplace to go. Maybe you see something on the side of the road, maybe you have an idea. I think that all this has taught me that time is precious and things might not be there. So maybe be 10 minutes late for that meeting to pull over to the side of the road and shoot that. Maybe make time for, you know, that person that you really want to talk to and get their story from. And because you don't know, like even right now, we don't know how long this is going to go on, if it's going to come back, and we'll all have to like be secluded again. And I'm kind of looking forward to being amongst creative people in one space again.
Yeah, I
With
agree.
you know, it's like I had the chance to work on a couple of movies recently, and I really enjoy I enjoy the process of that because like everyone's like super top of their game, and it's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of fun, a lot of creativity, problems being solved like this, and I just already as is. I've started talking to friends. It's like, what are we gonna do after this? Like,
Like,
how can we do this now and do it safely? Because even like even if we, even there's a perception thing. You don't want to do a project and then people do like, oh, well, y'all were just, hanging out and not obeying like good sense, really. And we don't want to do that. We have families, most of us. We're trying to be safe.
mhm.
I think just getting back to creating with other people is what I'm looking forward to.
Well, man, I will toast to that, my friend. um, you
We
know,
get to see you in person again.
yeah. Look, this is great, man. Look, if I can just do Zoom until we get to that point, I'll be okay with it. But there's nothing like seeing you in real life, man. So I look forward to that moment, and I keep these things easy and chill. Is there anything else you want to add? I'm gonna add your website and stuff when I post this.
Okay, cool. No, everyone stay safe and hang in there.
All right, man. Good to talk to you, Lucius. No, take care, man.